Yellow Spring Divine Anger. Demon Saint Huang Quan. Xiao Yan's eyes stared intently at Yao Ming. A moment later, he suddenly smiled and asked, "Why? Could it be that this legendary demon Saint Huang Quan is related to your 9 serene, deep, ground python tribe?" Haha, the demon Saint Huang Quan is naturally not a member of my tribe, but he did have quite a deep relationship with my tribe. After this ultimate expert fell back then, the inheritance that he had left behind had vanished with the flow of time. Yao Ming laughed. He softly continued, "There is a Huang Quan stone tablet in my 9 serene, deep, ground python tribe. It has been inherited since ancient times. All the knowledge of the demon Saint Huang Quan is recorded in this stone tablet. It is even rumored that the essence blood of demon Saint Huang Quan still remains deep within the stone tablet." Essence blood. Xiao Yan's hand trembled without leaving a trace. It was rumored that demon Saint Huang Quan had half a foot in the Do D class. His strength had almost reached the pinnacle. The blood of an expert who had almost reached the Do D class would gradually begin to transform. If he had been able to successfully step into that level, his future generations would be able to enjoy his bloodline strength and be protected for 100 generations. Another ancient clan would thus be formed. Of course, demon Saint Huang Quan had failed to make the last step until the day he died. Hence, his descendants did not enjoy such a blessing. Although his bloodline strength cannot reach his descendants, the essence blood of demon Saint Huang Quan was a great attraction to an elite Do Sheng. If one obtained it, it would undoubtedly raise one's strength. Since that Huang Quan stone tablet hides such a big secret, why is it that your 9 serene, deep ground python tribe has not extracted it until now? The allure of the essence blood of demon Saint Huang Quan caused Xiao Yan's heart fill with excitement. However, he quickly regained his cool as he asked a question. Haha, brother Xiao Yan is as cautious as ever. The Huang Quan stone tablet is a key treasure of my 9 serene, deep ground python tribe. There are 3 Do skills inscribed on it. The Yellow Spring Finger and the Yellow Spring Palm are respectively a Tian class low level and a Tian class middle level. They are extremely powerful. However, only the tribal chief and a few elders can practice them. Yao Ming laughed and replied, "Huang Quan Finger, Huang Quan Palm, huh? What about the last Do skill?" Xiao Yan nodded. He did not appear to desire either of these skills. A Tian class Do skill might boast extraordinary might, but it did not cause him to feel an extremely great temptation. After all, he possessed quite a number of Tian class Do skills. Yellow Spring Divine Anger. Yao Ming grinned and replied, "Yellow Spring Divine Anger?" Xiao Yan suddenly lifted his head. Yellow Spring Finger, deciding life and death. Yellow Spring Anger, shatters one's soul. The Do skill that demon Saint Huang Quan used, Yellow Spring Divine Anger. Xiao Yan's heart was finally a little shaken at this moment. Huang Quan Divine Anger was, more accurately speaking, a kind of sonic Do skill. Moreover, it was a Tian class high-level sonic Do skill. It was recorded in ancient texts that the Huang Quan Divine Anger was something that caused the expressions of even some elite Do Shengs to change. At least 9 out of 10 top experts who had died fighting the demon Saint Huang Quan had their souls forcefully shattered by the Huang Quan Divine Anger. Tian class high-level Do skill. It was the first time that Xiao Yan had seen a Do skill of this level. Based on what he knew, even the angry Buddha reincarnation that he had comprehended was unable to match the Huang Quan Divine Anger. Of course, if Xiao Yan were able to successfully swallow and refine the purifying demonic lotus flame, The strength of the angry Buddha lotus flame would likely not be weaker than the Huang Quan divine anger. In terms of actual destructive strength, the Huang Quan divine anger might be inferior to the angry Buddha lotus flame, but it was still considered a lethal weapon. Even experts of the same level would suffer a serious blow to their souls if they were careless. It should be known that one's soul was the very foundation of that person. If one's soul was damaged, the resulting sequelae would be many times worse than a physical injury. In other words, if Xiaoyan successfully mastered the Yellow Spring divine anger, even a 3-star Dosheng would end up suffering if that Dosheng was caught off guard. Haha, it is the Do skill that Demon Saint Huang Quan is renowned for, Huang Quan divine anger. Yao Ming laughed, feeling extremely satisfied with Xiaoyan's surprise. According to what you have said, that Yao Xiaotian and First Elder should have practiced the Yellow Spring divine anger, right? If they had used this Do skill, we would not have been able to block them, Xiaoyan replied. If Yao Xiaotian and the First Elder had successfully mastered the Yellow Spring divine anger, it would have been a completely different situation. A Tian class high-level Do skill was relatively rare even during ancient times. It was naturally even rarer now. It isn't so easy. No one in our tribe has ever practiced the Yellow Spring divine anger because the Do skill is hidden deep within the stone tablet. We are unable to obtain the method to practice it. Moreover, no one dares to forcefully break the stone tablet since we are afraid of damaging the demon saint's essence blood inside. Yao Ming laughed in response. In that case, what is Brother Yao's intention by telling me this? Even the many generations of experts from the 9 serene deep ground python tribe were unable to obtain the method to practice this Yellow Spring divine anger. Even less needs to be said for us. Xiaoyan shook his head as he responded. Haha, others might not be able to do it, but it will likely not be a problem for Brother Xiaoyan. Yao Ming replied with a smile. Oh, Xiaoyan lifted his eyebrows. He quickly crossed his fingers, grinned, and asked, Heavenly Flame? The only unique aspect of him seemed to be his heavenly flame. The heavenly flame might be powerful, but this Huang Quan stone tablet has nothing to do with it. What we require is an extremely powerful spiritual strength. There is a remnant spirit of the demon Saint Huang Quan standing guard within the stone tablet. The method to practice the Yellow Spring divine anger is located inside. Yao Ming laughed. Us magical beasts do not pay much attention to spiritual strength. Even with my strength, my spiritual strength is only similar to that of a Tier 7 alchemist, but I am unable to subdue that remnant spirit at this level. After probing for 1,000 years, we have discovered that a soul that has at least reached the heavenly state will be able to successfully enter the stone tablet, but a soul of this state is usually only possessed by some true Grandmaster alchemists. In the past, the tribe discussed hiring an alchemist guru, but this idea was tossed out because we were worried that exposing the Huang Quan stone tablet might end up bringing some unnecessary trouble. After all, the essence blood of demon Saint Yao Sheng is also hidden inside the tablet. If news of this spread, even some elite Doshengs might get involved. Even some tribe members only know about the existence of the Huang Quan stone tablet, but they do not know the secret that it hides. Xiaoyan smiled. He looked at Yao Ming and said, You trust me enough to tell me such an important secret? Brother Xiaoyan, these random guesses of yours are unnecessary. The reason I have revealed this secret to you is partly because I wish to repay your favor. After all, I am not an ungrateful person. Another reason is because I wish to borrow your strength to open the stone tablet and allow me to grow stronger in order to completely control the 9 serene deep ground python tribe. Yao Ming seemed to be aware of Xiao Yan's thoughts as he spoke. With a grave expression, Xiao Yan's eyes stared intently at Yao Ming. Yao Ming met his eyes without turning away. Xiao Yan slowly shifted his gaze after they looked at each other for a while. He mused for a moment and said, "In that case, let me attempt and see if I can deal with the demon Saint Remnant's soul inside the stone tablet." Haha, in that case, I will thank Brother Xiao Yan for your help. Yao Ming rejoiced and laughed after hearing Xiao Yan's reply. However, there is no rush. Brother Xiao Yan has experienced a big battle today. All of you should rest for a night while I settle the various matters within the tribe. I will lead all of you to the Huang Quan stone tablet tomorrow morning. All right. The 9 serene deep ground python had experienced a drastic change. There would naturally be some bloody incidents during the night, but Xiao Yan's group was unconcerned about these bloody matters. After all, this was an internal matter related to someone else's tribe. It was not their place to intervene. A night of chaos continued until dawn before it gradually calmed down. Yao Ming had already appeared at Xiao Yan's group residence when the sun scattered down from the sky. After which, he called the rest of the group, and they headed to the back of a mountain. Xiao Yan's group did not pause along the way. Within a short 10+ minutes, they had landed near an ancient altar behind Yao Ming. This altar was extremely majestic. It had been with large green rocks. One overlooked the surrounding mountains while one stood near the altar. Xiao Yan's group slowly landed next to the altar. At middle of the square was a 1,000-foot large pale yellow stone tablet. It stood at that spot by itself while an ancient aura spread from it, causing it to appear as though it had existed forever. Is this the legendary Huan Quan stone tablet? Xiao Yan raised his head and studied the enormous stone tablet. Many mysterious symbols had been engraved on it, while an unusual light vaguely flickered. The stone tablet had an enormous 5-foot-deep handprint carved into it. A mysterious information spread from within the handprint. It was likely that this should be the so-called Yellow Spring Fingers and Yellow Spring Palms training method. Yao Ming bowed low to this stone tablet, after which he slowly stepped back. His eyes looked at Xiao Yan as he said, "This is the Huang Quan stone tablet of my 9 serene deep ground python tribe. The Yellow Spring Divine Anger and the Demon Saint Essence Blood are hidden within it. Whether we can obtain them will depend on Brother Xiao Yan." Xiao Yan quietly nodded. His eyes were grave as they swept over the stone tablet. He could sense an extremely powerful spiritual pressure within it. Just a remnant from his soul already possesses such a powerful pressure. I really wondered just what kind of ultimate expert that Demon Saint Huang Quan was.